hopefully it will be as interesting as the others. So this is under development with Epicent. So I'll briefly discuss about our project, which is healthcare-associated infection surveillance and alert tools, or HAI SAT. We also call it like nosocomial infections or hospital-acquired infections. So healthcare-associated infections are infections acquired during healthcare delivery, so that were not present at the time of admission. So they remain actually major patient safety concerns across the whole world. According to WHO, around 7% in high-income countries, while 15% in low-resource settings that acquired at least one healthcare-associated infection during the healthcare delivery. So there are different kinds of HAI, what we call, that are increasingly linked to multi-drug-resistant organisms, and may occur as isolated cases, actually, and clusters or possible outbreaks. Despite this burden, many resource or low-resource countries, like in what we work in, still lack structured HAI surveillance systems capable of identifying trends, clusters, and outbreaks in a timely manner. As a result, they may only become apparent after multiple patients are all affected. So why is it important to have that or monitor them? It's because it helps evaluate whether healthcare systems or what we work in and our IPC practices are effectively preventing patient harm. Importantly, HAI surveillance does not replace our clinical diagnosis as clinicians. I'm not a clinician, I'm a nurse, by the way. So clinical diagnosis focuses on individual patient, while HAI surveillance, we want to focus on transmission risks and outbreaks that at population level. So therefore, relies on standardized definitions to support more consistent interpretations across settings. So in most MSF-supported facilities, surveillance remains difficult for several reasons. Clinical information, laboratory data or reports, and patient monitoring are often fragmented across paper charts, registers, and informal communication systems such as sometimes we use WhatsApp. So existing data are difficult to analyze operationally, and possible outbreaks of multi-drug-resistant organism transmissions may be recognized very, very late. So this creates the need for more structured approaches for data collection, interpretation, and reporting that remain feasible within the humanitarian field settings or realities. So what is the project for? So we use multiple clinical, so in MSF, basically, we use different kinds of data collection systems, so that includes the HIS2, Praxis, or sometimes we use an Excel base or registers, and then you heard about HUNET as well, that has an integrated SAT scan. However, this does not answer all the field's needs. So HAI SAT is designed to interoperable with 3 existing systems and complements them, adding standardized HAI definitions by WHO together with clinical and IPC context needed information to better assess whether these signals represents healthcare-associated infections or HAI transmissions. So the existing tool that we're using is Kobo Collect. It's comparable with ODK, clinical data collection system, and microbiology results from HUNET that will be merged in one line automated pipeline and merged into a single line list. This supports standardized HAI indicators, trend monitoring, cluster identification, and possible outbreak alerts while remaining adaptable at the operational context. So this is an example of screenshot or Kobo data collection system. It's mostly like an algorithm questionnaire that follows specific yes or no binary answers. And then this is the visualization dashboard that is simulated or dummy data, so don't mind with the information like the 100% HAI, no. So we're starting going to be more numbers, and then we will go into rates or incidence rates in the future. So why, sorry, this is my last slide. So why is it needs to be addressed right now at the fields? Several operational gaps that still exist in HAI surveillance across MSF-supported settings. So first, the project itself aims to improve the surveillance itself by transforming fragmented clinical, laboratory, and IPC data into more actionable surveillance information, together with more standardized interpretation of HAI events across projects. Going back. Second, the tool aims to support earlier operational response to earlier recognition of HAI trends, clusters, and outbreaks, and while supporting faster IPC and operational decision-making in high workload settings rather than it's too late that usually happens in our projects. Finally, beyond the routine surveillance, the online platform may also facilitate remote technical support. So basically, people maybe in the headquarters operationally follow up while generating data for many or may support IPC improvements, activities, and future operational research. So the system is also being developed with data protection and controlled access consideration integrated within the workflow. So to follow the recommendation with our data protection team. So the next steps are education and training tool, pilot implementation later this year, evaluation, and possible scale-up in other MSF projects. So in the future, this approach may tailor to surveillance in settings without microbiology laboratory capacity through use of clinical symptoms-based monitoring. It could also be adaptable beyond MSF-supported projects because we want to secure and support ministries of health as well, depending on the context and feasibility. And that's it. Thank you very much.